Christ.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Clay, the Wolf Den 808. I've got Andrew Knapp, SRT Joker, House of Healing, and all that good stuff. And I've got Legacy Game Master and Kyle. We're going to get started right away. Maybe later on I'll let them shout out and do their shit. So, as we left off, Seppuku, the Yojimbo to our Tomo courtier, has challenged Yokoto Imperial Magistrate to a duel for his treatment of the prisoner. Basically, the violation of the tenet of Bushido as compassion, and it has gone deathly quiet. Before that, Yoko, the assistant to our Imperial Magistrate, Hida, has informed them that they will meet the Kuni at the Monastery of Quiet Earth in Asahina Lands. And that is where we'll pick up. So the area is you guys are at the inn, where you guys have been interrogating the Edda, the thief of the Asawa. You have the Asawa woman in there demanding that this man or this thing be punished. You have Seppuku also there. Everyone is there. Seppuku, Asawa, Mitsuko, the Edda, the Tomo, Hida, you're all there. And basically, Seppuku is facing the Yokoto magistrate. Yokoto turns and looks at everyone else. It would be a dishonorable act if I should be accepting your challenge without having representation, Seppun-san. Being as my Yojimbo is still out about her duties, we must postpone this duel. No, I demand satisfaction now for your insolent ways. And he stutters that word by not really saying the actual word. Choose a champion amongst us. And Makoto says, when he turns to you, Hida, will you represent myself in this challenge?
I'll slowly decline with my head.
He then turns to Yutaku. Will you, as honor dictates, I must have representation to represent this or my honor is stained. It is the way of things, Otaku. I will now make a roll. 1 second. Bring up something here.
He's asking Yoko this.
Yep. And let me bring up Jim's screen. I need to find
this
out.
This isn't going to go poorly.
It will be. He will be using etiquette. Tried to convince her. It would be my honor, Koto-san, being as your courtier and not able to defend yourself in this trial. I will represent you.
I'll step forward and say, no, I'll represent you.
Okay. She'll take an honor loss. Mark that down. She doesn't say anything else. He'll turn, and just for a brief moment, there's a smile upon his face. And Seppun turns. Kapachi-san, damn.
I'll look at Seppun and I'll take my hand and brotherly fire will burn in my eyes and I'll say, I understand what has to be done, Seppun. Do what honor demands. You and I, regardless of the outcome, we will always be good.
He says, give me time to prepare. I am needing moments. Let me return to my room and gather my items for this duel. Maybe we should step out in the courtyard. I will meet you there in a few moments.
And I'll give him a nod and say, hi.
It's times like this that it's worth the honor loss to pay an Edda to lock him in. I'm not going to, because I want to see you kick the shit out of him.
Seppun, he leaves. He bows to everyone. He says, Tomo-san, my friend, I must gather and prepare for this duel. Please bear witness, be my second. And then he leaves before you are able to address him.
I can't. I'm going to look at the Imperial Magistrates, and I'm just going to give them the look that, what the fuck makes him think I can be a second? I don't even have a katana.
It
And I
seemed to
don't.
have gone over his head.
Apparently so.
One moment, gentlemen. Let me grab something.
No problem.
Part of me wishes I would have just let Yoko fight him. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Dude, I would say this is a comedy of errors, but that doesn't describe this. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, man. Can I distract him by saying, "You see all the rabbits"?
I can't risk Fat Boy getting like a really lucky hit on Yoko and killing her.
You're already in enough trouble over that, dude. Having her die is not a good thing.
No, especially because I need her right now. I extra need her on top of feeling obligated to protect her.
I'm gonna be a second, so when he dies, I'm just gonna fucking take the honor hit by refusing to step into this duel because I don't even have a weapon. Theoretically, it's not an honor loss because I can't defend myself. I would have to immediately find another second. We're about to make this whole duel. I'm gonna accept to be his second, which is gonna make this whole duel like honorless. You know that, right? He didn't give me a chance to just be like, no. He's like, you're gonna do it. I'm just like, okay, you're my Yojimbo. Aren't you supposed to take orders from me? No. Get wound up, buddy. uh,
It would have been funny to try to see Yoko defend herself because she's like has no martial training at all.
what's her Aijutsu?
I don't think she even has one.
I don't have Aijutsu. God help me if I get in a duel.
Yeah, I mean, Otaku, like the body she's in, that person had a low Aiijutsu skill. That's an interesting question, though. Like, how much of the skill resides in reflex and how much in the mind?
I'd say probably about 50-50 for a duel like this.
Yeah, maybe there's
You,
an argument then that she should get half of the Otaku's like Aiijutsu skill.
because a lot of dueling is muscle memory. At least the first strike is. The rest of it is all based on your actual knowledge of how to fight.
Yeah, because she's got no clue how combat plays out, but she does have a body that's honed, like reflex honed for it.
Yeah.
Though she's probably let it fall to shite over the last 6 months.
Not like she's bench pressing every night to try to stay healthy.
Yeah, she's not fucking out there like
Are you seriously like the only person here next to the Seppoon that can actually fight? Are we in deep shit if we get in a fight?
I don't know because Clay went to me and then he went to my Yojimbo and I was like, oh, dirty. That was
I mean,
dirty.
don't get me wrong, I have Kenjutsu, but God help me using it.
The problem is I would under the circumstance, I'm not really too keen about doing a Sepun, but on the same turn, I can't let Yoko die because that would create all kinds of problems.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you kill the Seppoon and it gets me out of this marriage, I'll give you extra amounts of money, copious amounts of money. I'll help you hide bodies. I don't care. I don't want to be married into this family.
We'll see what he makes the terms of the fight, because
Well, you get to select them. So.
My character is not a duelist, BTW. Like, I am not built to duel.
Well, actually, you don't choose the terms of the fight. The lion does.
Yeah.
He chooses the weapons and the terms, and you have to abide by them. Ugh.
So we'll see what he does, like how he sets it up.
We purposely got somebody to get into a fight. We dueled over a Go game one time, and it was interesting because my character was a master at Go. It was like 8K5 in Go. We got in a Go fight, and I actually won the duel because I was a master at the game.
Wow.
So the first thing we did is offer a duel to the death with katanas, and neither one of us were trained. So of course he has to turn it down, but he has to accept the second offer. So he turns down death by katana because he doesn't know how to use a katana. So I'm like, okay, a game of Go. We'll do a duel of wits with a game of Go. And he lost all sorts of honor and shit for it. It's amazing.
Clay's Kakita in the last game we played. Oh wait, Clay's back. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. No, go ahead and you finish up with the Kakita bit. I just got to grab this bit of information before we get started with this duel.
I did not even start the story, so I was gonna tell
we
him.
can do that after.
Yeah, I'll tell him after.
I got lucky in that game. I got real lucky in that game. Good rolls, baby. Good rolls. Plus, it was my core stat, so it's all good. Okay. So, what are you guys doing? You guys are in the room alone. Sepin has walked off. He's preparing.
Okay. This is a legitimate question, Clay. What kind of honor hit would I take if I accepted being a second when I am not equipped to do it? And I know I'm not.
You'd take a couple of points, but it wouldn't be necessarily. It would embarrass you if you couldn't. Like, it's not to the death, so you really wouldn't take a hit. You're not going to fight for him. You're just in this regard, since it's only a duel of first strike, or it's going to be a painful hit, but it's only to first strike. So you just be there to represent Sepin,
okay.
To be a
then
second.
I could technically accept it. Yeah. Okay, I'm just double checking it because remember the lion gets to set the terms though. He could set it to a terms of death if he wanted
to. Not with what he's doing. They're doing it to that. They'd have to get their daimyos involved and all that other stuff for a death duel. This is just to say, hey, I'm putting you in your place and I'm running the show there. So it's just a warriors duel. And it's going to be Kenjutsu, is what it is. So the weapons will be drawn, and it'll be a skirmish.
Ooh, giving me a fair chance.
Because there's no heavy weapons in this game, so it's all Kenjutsu.
If you wanted to see Jackie Chan try to fucking samurai up and flop the sword all over his hands and drop it.
Jackie Chan versus Lenny from Mice
Actually,
and Men.
It's going to be the Akota did not say Kenjutsu. It'll be a heavy weapons.
It'll be heavy weapons. Ugh.
Yep. So that's your Tetsubo if you still have it. I think it's damage, huh?
It's broke.
So he would have known that. So yeah, it'll be Kenjutsu. He can't. He won't do a weapon you don't have. So it'll be a Kenjutsu duel.
He can't, can he?
The Akota would not put himself in a position to fail, and if the Emerald Magistrate no longer has that weapon, he won't use that. So it's going to be a Kenjutsu duel.
Yeah, that's his best bet for me. If he can't do heavy, for sure.
So we'll do a time skip as you guys find yourselves in the courtyard. The moon is out. Lord Moon is out brightly. The stars are twinkling in the sky. There's a bit of heavy cloud, just those eerie line clouds that are there about ready to touch the moon. It is a perfect night for a duel. You find yourselves in a decent courtyard. It is a sand garden. It's got a fountain that's bubbling water. You see the clunking of the bamboo water, which spreads the water. Clunk, clunk. And out comes in Sepin armor beautiful, high crafted, probably a Kakita artisan armor comes out. On his back is this no dachi. He's got his katana, his wakizashi at his side. He's fully geared to go. He's taking this thing really seriously. How are you preparing for this duel as you come out? Think of like WWE wrestlers. He came out first because he's the one that challenged you, and you're coming out next, along with the Akoto, Yoko, and the Atomo is with the Seppen. But how are you coming out, Crab?
I will leave all of my weapons except my daisho, so I'm not going to bring the moto blade or any of that stuff. I'm just bringing the katana and the wakizashi, and I'm coming out in my topaz armor, and I'll have my helmet on.
Very nice. Akoto comes out and says, I being challenged, this will be a Kinjutsu duel. Being is the guard, the masks must be guarded. We must do it until one surrenders or takes a significant hit. Do you accept these terms? Seppen says, I do. I do as well. And my champion, Hida Kampachi, Emerald Magistrate, savior of Ryoko Rory, Kasada's son, the bearer's son. It's big fanfare as nobody else is watching this. But as that is being said loudly enough, people are starting to wander in from the inn, from the tea house and inn. So you've got a crowd probably of 15 people when this is all said and done.
Well, this is an appropriate moment to wear my mempo because I am slightly embarrassed that this guy has created this much of a stink over in Edda.
As you're covering up that, you're facing with them. Are you doing anything, Hida, before we begin this?
How close is he to me?
He is going to be, you guys are within movement, so you'd have to move and engage. So with this duel that you have, your weapons will be drawn, unless you want to be fancy, like, doing a jitsu strike if that's what you want to do. But he pulls out his nodachi off his back. And he's like stretching out a little bit. He's getting himself prepared.
Yeah, no, I won't. I'll definitely draw. I'll draw my katana.
Okay.
And can he hear me though? Can he hear me if I talk?
You guys are within talking, but everyone else will be able to hear you except for some of the spectators that came and are at a distance.
I'll get a serious look on my face. It won't be a frown, and I'll start getting my body pumped up. I'm like flicking my pecs, getting blood going to my biceps, squatting a little bit, getting into posture, and I'll say, Seppun, I just want you to know I take no pleasure in this.
Neither do I, my friend. My deal was with him, not a friend, not someone I consider a friend to defend him, but I know that honor demands this. So we will do initiative, and go ahead. You can also roll initiative if you wish to do something, Kyle. I'm going to allow you to roll it as well if you want to do or intercede. If not, you will. If you want to do something, it'll be after the fact. So if you like say, hey, I want to stop this, whatever action is happening when you want to interfere will go first. So with that being said, let's roll initiative. And for those of us that have forgot how to do so, initiative is you roll your rank plus your reflex. You may also add anything that allows you to add anything.
So 13, 21, 30, so I got 35.
Okay, Clay.
Okay.
I can jump in at a 39 if I need to.
Okay, so remember that. You have a 35, and Seppen is on a 12. So we also need to describe your stances. In this game, unlike the other one, your stances do different things. If you're doing an attack action, no restrictions, full attack, drops your defense to add to your attack, defense, full defense, and center. So what is your stance? And we'll just call it at the beginning of the rounds. So since you're going first,
what does centered stance do again?
Centered, a character in this stance takes no actions. Following around, the character adds 1k1 plus his void ring to the total of one roll. The
Yeah.
character also gains a bonus of +10 to his initiative score that next round.
Yeah, so I'll take centered.
Okay, so you're going to take no action this turn. You're centering yourself to attack next turn.
And what it looks like is I'll shift my hands around the hilt of the katana and bring it down in a 2-hand grip, dead center in front of me, like I'm about to do kendo. And I'll let out a really loud and slow exhale as I do it.
Okay. Kun-san, or Seppen-san, I won't call him Kun just for those that get offended. Actually, I don't care. Kun-san will approach you. He's got his Nodachi high above his head as he's kind of doing a duck walk towards you. And he says, for the honor of the Seppen, and to place that man in his place, and he takes a downward swing at you. He will do an attack action. He's also going to increase the target number because he's going to hit you with the back end of his blade, not wanting to cause much damage, but to get the win. Again, in this, you need to do 25 points of damage, or that would qualify for the duel. But if you don't wish to surrender, you can continue the duel. It is either to both warriors duel, so you can keep going until you quit. But you will honor demands that after you take a massive hit, 25 or more points of damage, you are able to concede and not lose honor. So he is going to strike at a 44.
I'm at 35.
Okay, you're at 35. You can do void, spend void to increase, to take away damage if you wish. Yeah, you can take away damage, reduce it by 10, or you increase your armor by 10 for 1 round.
Do I have to do that before or after he rolls
to reduce wounds is after. If you want to increase your armor, I will allow that because I didn't explain that would have to be called before.
But
to reduce wounds can be after.
No, we'll do reduce wounds and do it after.
Okay. So he had to do that. Actually, he did get you because you're at a 40 because he had to increase it to hit you with his blunt side of his weapon. You're going to take 23 points of damage.
So I'll spend a void then.
Okay.
And that puts my resistance up to 25 because I have 5 from the mountain does not move, and then 10 from the armor. So I will
go ahead and explain how you do it because he comes down and he hits you like right in the shoulder on that wound that has been almost like it is targeted by the kami themselves. That same shoulder that has been critically wounded a bunch of times, but you're able to maintain yourself. It just hits it. And it's a hard blow. You can see his arms kind of clench as it hits you, but it does not affect you.
Okay. I am next on the initiative next round, correct?
You are.
So here's what I want to do, Clay. When he hits me in the shoulder with the blow, even though it's not wounding me, I want to have it buckle me down to my knee, and I'm going to drop my katana.
Okay.
And I want to look up at him and say, Seppun, I yield.
A look of utter surprise goes upon his face as he looks down upon you. What I need from you is I need an awareness sincerity roll from you. Your Betton's blessing will take effect for this, but Sage does not.
Okay.
And your target number, I need to give you one second, is going to be a 30.
Okay. I predict luck in my future.
And Atomo, you can roll this as well.
Ooh, that was actually pretty good.
What's the roll?
You need to beat his roll, so it'll be contested for you. It'll be
Could it be sincerity?
It will be. You're going to be etiquette. Let's look at etiquette, courtesy, conversation. No, it'll be sincerity for you as well. You're determining deceit, awareness, sincerity.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I think I'm going to be okay on that. So 12, there's 25.
So what was your total there, Ida? And that is going to be the target number for them to realize you.
I got 49.
Okay.
I got a total of 40.
Okay, you guys all believe it. Nobody questions that this has happened or that you did not suffer this blow. So you gain 3 clicks of honor for representing him, but you lose 2 glory.
And I want to say something too. Does he withdraw the blade from my shoulder?
No, what it is he struck it. Think of like an anvil. He hit you so hard, but it was with the blunt end, so it's not stuck in your shoulder, but it hit that same crevice at your shoulder where that damage hit. But it ricochets off. He just hit you really hard to do the damage. So it bounced back up into another prepared strike.
Does he begin to lower the blade though? Is he accepting the?
Once you've said that you've surrendered, what he's done is, he's brought it down and brought it back up. He twirls it behind his back of his head, and then sheaths it onto his side. But again, it's on his the sheath's on his back, so he's put it out of his side. So yes, he's accepted it. It looks like he's waiting for you to respond if you're going to respond to anything.
Yeah,
it looks like he's going to step back and to give you the chance to stand.
Okay, so when he steps back, I'll slowly stand up and I'll recover my blade, and I'll say, "Let it be known for any of those that have seen this duel that the blade that defends the Emperor is unparalleled, inside Odasan Uchi and out."
Think of cartoons when you see like the animals with their eyes start bugging out of their head and they start to smile because they're so happy, almost tears in their eyes. That's kind of what Seppuku looks like. As you can see, his mempo is covering it, but his eyes are almost bugged out in that head, and they're just tears are whelping in his eyes, but he's trying to contain it. Thank you for the honor of this duel. And he'll do it like an about face. You don't see him crying, but Otomo, you see him crying, and he is blubbering. The quivering of his nostril that you could see, his eyes are all welled up with tears. He is so happy he may have come in his pants.
Okay, this is going to be fun. I'm going to roll etiquette here to see how my character would handle this, but I'm going to call out his blubbering in the most polite way possible.
Okay.
But it's going to require an etiquette roll to see how well I actually manage to do it, because I really don't like this guy.
You can set your difficulty. Starting difficulty will be very hard, so it's a 30.
Okay, that's 19.
While you're doing that, the Akoto loses 1 rank of honor for the embarrassment that he's caused, and the Akoto will say, "Forgive me, Seppun-sana, for my lack of courtesy and compassion to those less fortunate."
Okay, so Clay, I'm not making any raises. I'm just going to do straight 30. I rolled a 33. And
okay.
so
go ahead.
As he turns, I see him blubbering. I'm going to straight tell him that the dueling grounds are no place for a blubbering child. Oh, that perhaps he was getting pocketed too soon.
Okay, Emerald Magistrate, you catch on to his words. You kind of understand the meaning. It goes right over Seppuku's head. To be able to duel with the great Kenpachi-san, I can die a happy man. And he walks away. He stops. He turns to you all and bows very low, as if this man is like, it's unbelievable that this guy can also almost touch the head to the ground on how low he bows. Thank you for this honor. And he goes out. I will prepare to be leaving immediately. I will resume my duties soon. Otomo-san.
So Clay, I still have that letter to write. Don't forget.
Yeah, if you guys are leaving in the morning, you can, but this will resolve this issue. So unless you guys do more, you're writing your letter to your family. Hida, what are you doing?
I will take off my helm, and I'm not going to pay any attention to his comment towards Seppun because I've already shamed myself willingly enough tonight. And I'll put the helm under my hand, and I'll say, well, I have magisterial duties to attend to.
Well, I have to craft this letter where I basically tell his family, my family, the crab, and everyone else that this guy doesn't speak for me, and he's going to get me murdered. So let me see what calligraphy I can pull off while we're talking. Oh, dear Lord. That's not too bad, because my calligraphy's what? 4. There's, let's see, that's 16, 23. I got a 26
Okay.
in calligraphy. So
You're
I didn't
able to do what you want to do.
I mean, I'm basically telling his family, my family, and the Imperial families that this guy does not speak for me and that his mouth is going to get us in a lot of trouble. That he needs to stop speaking for the Otoma. He does not speak for me. He's my Yojimbo. He's there to protect me, not to speak for me. And that needs to be regarded and transferred to his family as well before he gets me killed.
You're able to get the gist of it. You believe your letter was to the point.
Because remember, well, not last session before that, he offered for us to go to the wall.
Yeah, he thought it was a good idea and thought that you, his best buddy, might want to go as well.
Yeah. Problem is, I'm not equipped to go to the wall. I prefer to stay away from the wall. I like to live.
So, unless you guys are doing anything else, we will jump to the next morning.
The one thing I will do
Go
on
ahead, Hida.
on my walk back to my room, I will have visions in my head of the duel and kind of like walk through what I would have done to him if I actually wouldn't have pulled my punches and been so gracious, like responding with my own blows in my head, kind of like in Sherlock Holmes as he like sees everything play out before him. I'm just like recalling and thinking about how my follow-up blows would have probably incapacitated him.
Nice. Okay. And with that pleasant thought in your head as you fall asleep, that night, the two of you receive a vivid dream. And in that dream, I will need willpower checks made for the both of you. And the target number is a willpower check is 15. Raw willpower.
I'll take that as a win. 23. Yay.
Okay. And you, sir?
Sitting on that 5 Earth Ring, I got a 35.
Okay.
Very nice.
You guys have dreams of walking by yourselves in a dark, moonless night. You're stepping on things that you don't know what you're stepping on. They make squishy sounds, and the smell of iron is heavy in the air. You see a light coming from possibly a campfire, and you're making your way over towards it. And as it comes closer and closer, you see shadows moving along the perimeter of this light source. And as you approach, you see a figure. Otomo, you see the back of a possible beautiful geisha that you've seen in a previous life, i.e., not a previous life, but in your time in court and different things. And going to geishas, it's a big thing in the royal families. You see the neckline and everything else. Think of the pictures that you see in L5R of geishas, but you see the neckline, you see the nice kimono. You can't really tell what color, if it's red or a dark brown or black. You see the hair done well. You see the pins in the hair. You can't tell, again, you can't tell if they're green, blue, or black, the pins. You smell the perfume of blossoms coming before you. You, Hida, also have this, but you recognize the back. You recognize the neck. Your dreams have shown you this figure for the last couple of months, off and on. And as the figure turns, Otomo, you are struck by you are struck by a very beautiful woman. Just beautiful. I mean, Kachiko, who kind of look, because you've dealt with Bayushi Kachiko in the past. And she just looks at you, and as you kind of look down and she smiles, you see it looks like shark teeth, and her mouth expands larger than what a human mouth can do. And that's when the dream kind of fades out for you. For you, Hida, same thing. The mouth, instead of a shark's mouth, though, you see it as a perfectly made Ukugani mouth. I mean, they're beautifully teeth, porcelain teeth. And you hear, "I'm coming for you, Hida. We will be together again." And that's when you kind of turn, and out of the darkness, you see an armored figure come up that you recognize, wearing your armor but of a different vintage. I.e., the demon looks different, the dragon looks different, and you see a katana coming down upon your neck, and you're unable to dodge, you're unable to draw your weapon. And as it comes down, the dream fades out. The smell of blossoms in your nose. Next day, you guys are not suffering anything yet from that. What do you do the next day?
I got to seek out Yoko.
As you come upon her room, which is adjoining yours, she does not answer your call. What do you do?
I'll lean against the wall and wait like another couple minutes and then call at her again.
Nothing.
I'll look both ways and kind of get those anime cat whiskers on my face like I'm about to do something sneaky and creep the door open.
Inside, you see lying on a tummy mat is Yoko. Her kimono is askew, and it looks like she hasn't had a good time sleeping, but she is not awake. You also see around her neck a finger of jade that has melted to sludge upon her breast.
Uh-oh. I'm going to run over and cover her up, like adjust her so her kimono isn't revealing her.
Okay. You're able to do so.
And then I'm going to gently like shake her at the shoulder and say, Yoko, Yoko.
She's kind of hot to the touch. And as you wake up, her eyes are heavily lighted, and she wakes up and she calls, "Boy, dragon." Tears running down as if she'd been crying all night.
And I'll say, snap out of it.
Again, it's like she's been running a marathon and crying the entire time, and she kind of passes out upon you, as if her last bit of strength is given out to her.
Okay, I'll help her back down then. And I'll look over. Where's the mask?
The mask is probably in a satchel on the side.
I'll verify that it's still there.
The combined mask is there.
Okay. So I'll exhale with a little bit of satisfaction that things aren't completely shite, though it looks like we're not going to get an early start. I'll observe her for a few minutes. I want to see if she actually enters sleep after that, or if she goes back to acting weird.
It seems that she's exhausted and is sleeping.
I'll try to sneak out then with making as little noise as possible.
Okay. Easily done.
Oh, how much fun it would have been to be there, just scream at you as you exit the room, but no.
Hey, Hida!
Hey, Hida, what are you doing in that room? Embarrass the shit out of you.
Looking for a little unicorn action?
Everyone needs a horse to ride. Oh, wow. That was poor taste even for me. She's like 12.
Okay. What are you going to do, Atomo?
The mind of the 12-year-old. How old was Otaku? I can't even remember. She was like my age, right?
Yep. Actually, she's older than you.
So she's like 21, 22.
24.
24. So she's got a full-blown like huge-ass unicorn woman body, but little do you guys know it's a child in it.
Pretty much.
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to take my morning tea like normal, and I am then going to proceed to talk to the lion again, because we need to arrange before we leave. We need to either carry out or arrange for the execution of that prisoner.
I will say while this is happening, and Hida, you're doing your rituals and stuff, that when Hida, you come down, you'll be seeing that the Akodo and the Atomo are talking together. And the Akodo says, yes, I've made arrangements with the local magistrates to have the criminal executed.
You gonna say anything to this magistrate?
Nope, I'll nod my head and say, "Yep, sounds right."
Good.
He says, I've
do-
also taken the liberty of getting our mounts ready to the travel to the monastery.
Do I notice the Emerald Magistrate coming in?
Yeah, he's coming down the stairs.
Okay. As he comes in, I'm going to turn to him, and I'm guessing he looks kind of haggard, a little bit like I do. Neither one of us slept very well. And I'm going to ask him if he's ready for a hard day's ride, considering it looks like he didn't sleep either.
I'll say, last night wasn't the most pleasant sleep I've ever had. It was riddled and poxed by nightmares, that's for sure. But Hida are made of tough stuff. I've been for days without sleep in the Shadowland. I'll be able to manage. However, my Yojimbo is a different story.
Well, if she's a unicorn, she's probably used to sleeping in the saddle. The longer we wait, the harder this becomes.
And I'll say, you can go up and have a look at her if you want. I just checked in on her a little bit ago, and she seemed to be having like cold sweats or actually not even cold sweats. She's running a full-blown fever, and she seemed to be exhausted and passed out.
Perhaps we should have a priest or a doctor look at her.
Not a bad idea.
So I'm going to find one of the Edda and have him send for one of the voodoo doctors here in town.
And as you do that, and you're instructing the Edda. Time has passed. You guys are having your breakfast, your tea, and Yoko does come down, wobbly on her feet, but she is coming down. Okoto goes, "My dear, Ataku-san, please sit, have tea." And he provides refreshments and food. And she drinks the tea, but does not eat. She says, "Hida-sama, please excuse my earlier display." And she is like really exhausted if she's doing this, but she's managing to stay upright.
I'm going to look at the.
About 15 minutes has passed.
I'm going to look at the Emerald Magistrate and state, well, at least she's on her feet. I'm sure we can get her into a saddle.
I'll slowly shake my head, but I'm looking at her, and you can see me. I puff out my face a little bit and shift my jaw and nod. You ever see that Zach Galifianakis meme where he's like sitting there and the camera slowly pans in on him, and then he just like smiles and nods?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I do, only a little bit more subtle than that. Like, okay, I see. You're actually trying to get into this whole tough warn thing. Well, if you think you can do it.
Yoko will nod and says, "Yes, I believe getting to the monastery of the Quiet Earth is the thing to do. If we are ready, we should travel."
Well, if you're committed to this, then the quicker
I'm going to
better.
purposely stall her, though, because I do want this priest doctor guy to look at her. Something's not right. Yesterday she was full of life and very healthy, and now she's suddenly she looks very ill. No. She could be
Go ahead and
corrupted.
give me a etiquette roll, or actually courtier roll, because you are trying to do this.
Okay. Would manipulation count here, Clay? Because I'm actually trying
Yes,
to
it would. If you're trying to
people.
manipulate her and getting her to stay.
Yeah, I'm trying to manipulate the situation in particular into staying put. Okay. Surprisingly, no ones, but it's okay. Okay, so that's 30 right there. 39, 45.
She does not catch on. She'll nod and she goes back to sipping her tea with her eyes closed. Unless you guys do something in about 15 minutes, you see an elderly man come in, bald of palate, and he's wearing really a homespun kimono, and he'll enter.
I will do something.
Go ahead.
I'm going to excuse myself to go back up to the room and take. Well, actually, I'm not in my armor yet. I'm not in my topaz armor. I will take the mask and adhere it to my chest again, and wrap a cloth around it and me, and then put my armor back on over it.
Is the mask physically touching your skin?
No, I'll make sure it's wrapped. I learned my lesson.
Okay. All right, you do that, and you take your time. By the time you get down, this elderly man has come down, and he says, I am of the order of Sensei. And he looks like he's pulled her aside and is trying to treat with her. And moments later, he does come back to the group as you guys are all kind of preparing yourselves to leave, and says, the poor child is exhausted. Has she been asleep in the last few days? Is she suffering nightmares or other issues? He starts to ask you guys some medical questions.
The only person that can actually answer that has gone upstairs, hasn't he?
Now, this is when he's coming down. She's kind of the doctor's given, or the priest is giving the examination,
I'm
and
going
when he
to-
comes down, he joins the group as you guys are coming together.
I'll look at the sensei and tell him the Emerald Magistrate would know better since this is his Yojimbo.
Okay, what exactly did he ask?
It appears that she is fine. Again, busting out Jade and stuff, he never did, but he did give her an examination. It appears that she's not been asleep and has been ridden hard and put away wet, as her plan would say. But she's suffering from extreme exhaustion.
He didn't ask me anything though.
He's asking when was the last time she slept. She appears to have not slept and has been, ridden hard and put away wet, is what he says, using a unicorn term.
I'll say, well, here and there, my Yojimbos had sleep, same as I, but I dare say for how long has it been since Casada's Winter Court?
Probably over 8 months. Winter Court is about to happen again. Winter is coming.
So I'll say the last 8 months have been incredibly fast-paced and brutal for the both of us, taking us from the drudges of the Shadowlands to an Oni attack at the City of Lies. There were a lot of sleepless nights in between that time, and I fear the last few days have been especially brutal.
You do lose a click of honor, being as you called Ryoko Rory the City of Lies.
Yeah, and I'll do so, having been the magistrate there. I know for a fact that that's what it is.
Hey, Clay, give me a second.
Yes.
I'm going to be right back. I'm going to hit the head.
Yep. The doc will nod and says, well, the both of you then will require rest. You should take it before it actually is made, before your bodies make you take it. But that is on you.
How long is the journey to the temple?
It's going to be a couple days, possibly.
So we'll be camping though, right? We're not going to take
Yep.
it straight. I'll say we have to be on our way, unfortunately, but we'll take a rest at the end of the day.
The priest will nod and he says, good. You should take a lower
Could we
pace, whatever
consider
your duties
hiring
are.
a carriage?
It's up to you.
I think to myself, something didn't hit me that hard.
Well, I mean, if
And
he starts
speaking of the
suggesting
devil-
if he's going to suggest that she rest, I suggest that we rent a carriage for her to rest in on the ride to the shrine.
I can ride, she says, as you say that.
That's up to her. I mean, I can't make her do anything. She's not my Yojimbo.
She kind of gives you a stink look as you say your words. But she says, I can ride. And then she'll stand up wobbly and make her way to her mount, her steed.
Which very much confuses me, knowing that she's not actually a unicorn. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? You can ride. You were born for carriages. But I don't say anything.
And again, you know that she's been trying better to maintain the illusion of what she is or what she's become. And she makes her way out. Speaking of Yojimbo, walks down, licking kind of his fingers. Seppuku, are we ready to go? The horses are ready. Otomo, Otomo-san, I am ready. Shall we travel?
Through gritted teeth, I'm going to say, I guess so. In the back of my mind, secretly wishing that he would always forget to wake up on time.
And when he notices you, Hida, he's like, Kampachi-san, my friend. And he kind of takes like a step, and he goes, shall we finish eating? He does it like went over his head that he doesn't realize you guys have finished eating and are damn near ready to go. All you have to do is go to your mounts. And he looks around as if he's just realized, oh, you guys have finished breakfast. And he reaches down and grabs a bowl and nods to possibly the innkeeper or the head of this establishment, and he takes the bowl out and is eating it as he leaves. Shall we get going? That was a marvelous duel, by the way. Excellent technique and formation. I imagine, Master, and then he'll name your instructor, the Hida that taught you. It seems that Hida Kuan is still a magnificent teacher. He taught me those same maneuvers, and that's when you kind of realize that some of his stances were kind of known to you, as kind of jogged a memory. And now that you realize he's also trained in Hida school, he was showing techniques when he was going into his stances and fighting styles, as if he wanted to hold a tetsubo instead of an odachi in his hands when he was wielding it above his head.
Right. Yeah, I'll say to him, yeah, I noticed that you had the knowledge of my my school of swordsmanship or weaponship. It's very impressive. I didn't expect for you to strike so quickly and harshly, but that was at my own peril. I had heard the stories of the Sepun, but you proved it without a doubt.
Thank you. And he beams. And now it's like if he could walk on his tippy toes, he would. And he kind of looks that way for a moment as you guys are walking out. And he says, yes, I'm only a fourth Dan of the Hida school, but I'm also of the Berserk school of the Hida. And you kind of look at him strangely, and if that's the case, then he's probably ranked 4 in the Hida school, and probably a one-eyed berserker as well.
When he says that, I'll say, oh, that's most impressive indeed. Actually, my brother is a berserker.
Ah, I know him well. I've taken a hit or two from him. Great man. Though he does not seem to care about my ways, I think I annoy him.
You'll have to forgive him. He's been on the wall much longer than I have, and he's also done my father's biddings much longer than I have. And Casada is a brilliant man, but he is a stern man.
When he says when he says he thinks that he annoys the brother, I'm going to mumble under my breath, I can't seem to imagine this.
Again, he thinks he may have heard it, doesn't take any heed to it. And he's going on and on about talking about Hida, your brother, your instructors, and talking about the wall. And then he was only there to train. Actually, that Kuan, your instructor, was brought to the capital to train him and a few other Sepun. And he just goes on and on and on. And he says, we learned a new kata. And then when he stops, you guys are getting close to the stables and stuff, and he stops and he says, it is the shell of the crab. Do you wish to see it?
I'll look at him. I am all in at this point. Like, I'm going to appease this little show he's putting on. I'm like, they taught you that? Heck yes, I want to see it. Go on to show me.
It's something that Kuan had been working with me, and Casada was quite proud when he saw it the last time he was in the Imperial City. And as you guys are watching, he pulls out a tanto. And he's got it, he puts it on, it looks like as you guys are going towards the fences of the horses where they're corralled, he puts it, the hilt down as if he's bracing it and the blade up. And he puts it down, and all of a sudden he goes, Gah! And he just screams out, just shocking you. I mean, he just goes out of the blue, and he slams his hand, palm down on it. And he does it with such force that the hilt of the tanto goes down into the wood of the railing. It goes down, and he basically bends the blade with the palm of his hand, and then he shows it to you all excited and stuff. He hasn't put on his gauntlets, and there's no damage there. There's not really even an indentation, but the blade looks like it's been bent as a wavy bend, as if it was folded upon itself.
I'll be legitimately impressed. I'll say absolutely wonderful, amazing.
Yes, we combined, and he kind of goes over techniques of I think it is like the 3rd or 4th rank of your school ability, and how he bent that to do this kata, and he practices it every day. and then he pulls out like another Tonto out of his bag, puts it into his hip to make sure he has it. You know, he's got 5 or 6 in this bag of his.
Yeah, he's, as far as his school goes, he knows as much about the crab as I do. He's on the same.
But if you start talking history and different things, it's over his head. He only knows like the big wig possible from books and stuff. You know, Casada, his son, stuff that he would have been trained to do.
Yeah.
But other than that, you know, he's kind of a small-minded simpleton. But he's hero worshiping bad on you, and then he forgets that Otomo's there, and then it looks like he wants to put his arm around Otomo and bring him close, like his best bud. He says, "Otomo and I, since our childhood, I've tried to teach him this. You know, I've tried to."
The moment he tries to grab me, Clay, I'm gonna
He
ride a little
stops.
further
He
out.
realizes that there's bad etiquette. He doesn't do it, but he looks like he wants to, and then he puts his hand down as if he's done this time and time again. And he's gotten better at making it look like it's not that awkward moment where he's about to reach out and put his arm around you. And he kind of does like a break move with his arm and his shoulder. Oh, just loosening up, an old battle wound.
I'm seeing the awkwardness again. I'm going to say, you know so much about my family, Sepun. When you come with Otomo to do that duty on the wall that I promised you, I'm sure Casada will throw you a great feast. You'll have to do some demonstrations for everybody there. The crab will love it.
And, you know, he beams up and he says, "Yes, I did. You know, I wrote to my father last night. I was so excited about what we talked about. I had asked if we could, but I don't know if it's going to be passed. I may be able to go, but Otomo may have other duties. Do you know?" And he says,
if looks could kill right now, Clay, he would be killing off of his horse.
he just goes on this long tirade of all the times that he's invited the Otomo out. And for some strange reason, he doesn't know what it is. It is always politely that he has something else to do. You know, Otomo is such a busy man. And now he shifts that hero worship onto Otomo. And it is thick. How busy he is, how good he is at court, and how everyone loves him in the second court. And that how Otomo is his number one fan, and how he has praised him in the second court and has helped him rise with his praise. And he goes over all these things that the Otomo has done within his family's court, and now he is darling and is cherished.
I will. I'm going to butter him up a bit. I'm going to say, yes, indeed. From what I know of the Otomo, he is most impressive. You know, there's something particular though about you, Sepun, that I've got to say. Are all the Sepun as strong as you are?
My father is quite strong. He does guard the emperor, but I've been told that I am the young bull. That is what I've been called. And he poofs out his chest, and this massive 350-pound man is just walking with his chest out.
So I'll say to him, you know, I always thought that the crab had a purpose to protect. They protect the body of Rokugan. But yesterday, I learned that the Sepun protect the soul.
I'll give you a point of glory as he starts to go off on this and how gracious you are. He's praising you. I'll also give Otomo if he takes it 1 point of glory, because he is telling everyone as you guys are walking by. Everyone is hearing his praises for the two of you.
Oh Lord! So Clay, I figured out who this character reminds me of the most. He makes me think of the fat fire breather from Sudoku 2.
A touch here and there.
Reminds me of. Just big, strong ox that can barely speak.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. He speaks brilliantly. Brilliantly.
And with that, you guys ride out of the village.
I want apples to throw at him when he's stupid. I should pick apples to throw at him.
So you guys are heading to the monastery of the Quiet Earth. It lies at the foot of the wall of the Ocean Mountains. It is in the unclaimed land north of Yatsuki and Asahina Holdings. It's also, it holds, you guys both get this, that Shinto monks maintain this. And it is in a rough terrain in this hilly side. Think of steep hills, not mountains, but hills that this compound is on. So it's going to take you some time to get there. It's going to be 3 days travel, or shorter if you wish to do it. And
I would push for a little bit of a laid back ride because I want to make sure that my Yojimbo doesn't keel.
so I take that back. It's actually the monastery is this compound is in a vale between two hillocks that are tall and pointed, and you've got a wall that kind of encircles it between these two hillocks. You know, this will protect them from raids, rattlings, different things of where you guys are going.
It's
And
kind
the
of like
occasional goblin tribe that may be in the area that frequent the mountain.
Isengard.
Yeah, something like that. But not so grand. So, unless you guys, I will fast forward the time to where you guys are get there. If you guys are just going to go at a leisurely pace and really do nothing except kind of get to know each other, it is up to you.
Well, I will make sure. I'm going to make sure no matter how fast we go, my horse will be right next to Otaku's horse, and I will keep a watchful eye on her in case she does actually keel over because I don't want her to fall out of her saddle.
Okay. First day, easy travel. Again, what is your guys' marching order?
I would probably
trip.
be near the front being a magistrate.
Well, and the Otomo needs to be towards the middle. That way, if anything breaks out, it's not in immediate danger.
Okay, so what it is it's going to be the Emerald Magistrate, Yoko, the Otomo, the other, the Akoto Emerald Magistrate, and then behind everyone is Sepin. And for the first day, he sings. Happily sings. What do you guys do?
Wish I'd never been invited to the Sepun court. Besides that, yeah, I'm gonna tell him to please be quiet. That there's, even if it's a lie, there's bandits on this road, and I don't want to draw them down on us.
For just a moment, he gives you a look, almost not disgust, but like, why do you fear bandits? Kind of look. And then he kind of shrugs, and you know that that thought has left his head, and your comment has left his head, and he'll stop and he'll start to hum to himself. And throughout the day, nothing happens as you guys are going. It is a hot travel.
I'll actually say something to him after that comment.
Go ahead.
To Otomo, I will say, you know, Otomo, the two of you make a pretty interesting duo.
I am seriously lamenting not buying a bag of apples before we left Villages because I want something to throw at him right now. Like, how did I get stuck with this guy? That's the first thought in my head.
Actually, that's what I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna say, how did it come about that Sepun got paired to you as your Yojimbo?
I'm gonna take a big sigh and just tell him I have no idea. Maybe it has something to do with being betrothed into his family. Perhaps it's a punishment from mine, but one way or the other it happened, and there's not much I can do about it.
Sepun's over there like, oh, I asked, specially asked.
Are you guys speaking loud enough?
I don't care. The Sepun doesn't pick on anything negative I say about him anyways, so I don't care.
He doesn't pick up on that, but he picks up on the conversation that he's involved, and you're asking about his best buddy. He kind of kicks his pony to kind of catch up a little bit, so you guys are riding together as you pull back. And he says, oh, no, it's a great story. Let me tell you, he and I have been friends since we were little. And he goes on to this montage of all the adventures that he thinks that the two of them have had, and that they've gotten together and he's marrying into his family. This is great. We are going to be family now, not just imperial families, but family. And he goes on, and that how he was requested by a cousin in order to do this. And he just spills the beans on how, you know, he's been elected to do this, that he put it in for the last couple of years. He's put it in to protect the Otomo. And for some reason, he couldn't get it. But just recently, it was given to him that he has become the Yojimbo to his soon-to-be brother-in-law. Can you believe it? And he just lays it on thick on everything. This is hero worship. This is family pride. This is everything. You get the gist, though, in his story, and it's easily to be brought that the Otomo has done something and that this guy has probably been passed around but has now landed upon the Otomo.
So
and you don't think it's going to change up anytime soon, i.e. the role that Kyle did earlier did not meet the standard nor whatnot, so he was given this guy.
Am I taking that, Clay, as the Otomo did something that pissed somebody off and this is his punishment?
Yes.
Yep. You think this guy has been traded around. Yeah, and this guy has probably been traded around.
Like I traded on my family name in the wrong way or something, or I brought dishonor to my father or a family member, and this is the way of being like, you know what, fuck you.
9 out of 10, his father was able to buy himself out of possibly a debt or a favor. You know, he tried to. You think that this was manipulated on higher levels, and this guy doesn't get it. He's kind of a happy simpleton. Doesn't get that this guy's nobody wants him around. It just doesn't click.
As he's talking, and it's clear that he's just like out in La La Land, I'm gonna lean over to the magistrate, over to Andrew, and I'm gonna say, hey, in his ear in a whisper, it's clear that he's mad. I don't barely know the man. I met him just a few months ago at court.
I will smile.
Who says bad dice rolls don't lead to good role playing?
And as you're, go ahead.
By the way, Clay, just to make sure I got this right, because I was just looking at a note. How much glory did I lose from losing the duel?
You said 2 points, right?
You lost 2 points of glory for losing the duel.
Okay,
you would have lost more, but you didn't get caught losing it that way.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. That's what I thought.
And you lost the honor for stepping in over your Yojimbo when she was asked.
Yeah, I saved her butt big time. Because it's
but lost honor to yourself by embarrassing her. She lost a butt ton. She lost a whole rank of honor.
Yeah, though honestly, still probably better than what would have happened when it was discovered that she wasn't actually an otaku, could not fight, and just got fucking pwned by that Seppun who crushed her with a single blow.
And you also realize her body, her earth ring is the same as your otaku's, but you probably think that this man may be a simpleton, but he may be a simpleton savant in combat and war. If he's actually rank 5 in the crab school, this guy has suffered. He probably doesn't realize or feel pain. But he suffered to get where he's at, so he's taken the hits, and he probably could have caught on that she's not displaying technique that she should be displaying.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna. There was no way I was gonna let her fight for her own sake, and for my sake.
Yeah. So you didn't lose any honor on dueling and saving her. You actually leveled up some of the honor loss you took by stepping in her way. So you actually lost a lot less than you would have. But yeah, that night. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure. I actually was going to say something to Otomo again.
Go ahead. You guys can keep role playing.
When Otomo says that that he doesn't know what he's talking about, that he just met him like several months ago, I'm going to say, but it sounds like you guys have had quite the storied history together, childhood friends. And
the Otomo does realize that this guy has been a leech. Think of that younger brother that's always following you around wanting to do something, but it only happens at Winter Court. That's the only time they've really been together, is when their families meet different things.
I'm just going to kind of shake my head and look at the Emerald Magistrate in a way that says, I'm filing away anything that you do at this point because you're torturing me as bad as this kid is. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I want to get rid of him, but outright dismissing him would be terrible.
So far, you don't have cause. He's been able to be very lucky on weaseling his way out verbally on different things. His luck is par to none.
Yeah, but if I find a reason to dismiss him, I will get rid of him. He is like a stone around your feet while you're in the middle of the ocean. There's
Yep.
no way around that.
One fucking big ass stone.
Yeah.
He's
Very much
massive.
so.
So
Well,
He's
fuck it,
bigger
it's
than,
like screw a stone.
Iuchiban.
He's more akin to like a fucking sinking boat you've gotten hooked to.
yeah. After him talking to me about his knowledge of like the crab and his school rank and stuff, Kenpachi's not sure that he has a better physique. This guy might have a better physique if it's covered by fat. But
Maybe.
yeah, but since Atomo ain't having it, I'll go back to Sepun-kun and I'll say, so Sepun, have you given any thought to my invitation about coming to my wedding when I choose a bride?
What you can on that, Kyle, I'll give you a bone to get on. If you give me a courtier awareness check, or hang on a sec, let me see. Courtier awareness check.
Okay.
And I'm going to say 10 raises. If you call raises, we'll give you more information.
Okay, so it's difficulty 10 base.
Base is 10.
I'll call 2 raises.
Yeah.
To safely do that. Yeah, I'm fine there. Nope, because it's not going in my specialty. Because there's 18, 26, 32.
32. You easily get your 2 raises, so you get 3 pieces of information. The first bit of information, and this is well known, is that Matsu Hitori, the daughter of the Matsu clan champion, she is the high runner-up to be wed to Hida here. In the imperial courts, her mother, the clan champion, has petitioned to the Mia, which are friends of hers, and to Hida himself, and she's the highest on the thing. You also realize that he has a Kakita that is also petitioned, and you're getting the gist that these were from the Topaz Champion tournament last year. These are women that he had vanquished during the tournament.
Just for my sake too, Clay, who was the what was the marriage contract to the Mantis from?
The marriage contract from the Mantis was from Yoritomo.
Ah, yes. Let me just file that away.
So while he's talking about his marriage, I'm going to snidely suggest, yes, I hear that Matsu treat their husbands much like house husbands.
I'll laugh. I'll say, that's what I hear too. That's why I'm turning down her proposal.
You also know, Tomo, that Yoko has been offered as a potential bride, and that the Mama-san who is running the interviews and preparing this is Bayushi Yuen. She's probably a 90-year-old woman who no one knows how old she actually is, but she is the head matchmaker for Otosan Uchi.
Oh, not Big Mama.
Basically, when she gets involved, whoever she picks, it happens.
Oh, wow.
And your last bit of information is you know that Matsu Hitomi, that's the lion, that the clan champion has specifically spent some favors to get that matchmaker involved. Say again?
You broke up.
Andrew, I can't hear you if you're talking, bud. Still can't hear you, bud.
Whoops, I lost you guys there for a sec.
There you go.
I said,
Okay.
And you broke off again.
Oh.
Damn it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Was that a Kakita? The Kakita that I saved the life of during the Topaz Championship?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she was a babe, I think.
And that's also and I use the same, that Toshimoku's in the canon, the newer canon, it would be Ren, but in this one, it's not. It goes by a different name, but she's the prime pupil of Toshimoku who didn't have kids.
Yeah, so she's a badass too.
Yeah. Well, that she was,
I mean,
or is.
I kind of saved her life, so and Rokugan like a Rokugan Wookiee like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but okay, so he makes the comment about the Matsu or whatever. I laugh it off and I say, yeah, that's why I'm not going to get married to the Matsu. But then again, we'll see what Kasada has to say about it, as well as Big Mama.
Extremely despondent. I'm gonna look at the Sepun and say, well, at least you have some choice in the matter.
And I'll say to the Sepun, I'll say, but Sepun-kun, regardless of who my bride is, I'd still love for you to come to the wedding. You'd be more than welcome.
Oh, I'm gonna give him the look that says, "What? I'm not invited."
I'm not inviting. I haven't invited the Atomo.
You're a terrible, terrible magistrate. You know that? Terrible.
Sepun is just such a kindred spirit.
And he agrees. I will be there. Not a problem.
Fat and hungry.
And I'll hold my hands up and I'll say, "Oh, Sepun, just wait till you see the feast we're gonna have at that wedding. Kasada will spare absolutely no expense, and it will be hearty, like soul nourishing food."
And that night, as you guys are resting, that dream happens again. This time I need you guys to give me a willpower check. DC goes up by 10, so it is 25.
Just no. Just no. I rolled a 13.
This is the same dream.
It's the same dream, but it gets more intense.
Um,
And more information will pop out.
could I try to endure the dream longer and increase the difficulty of my check to try to get more information?
Base is 30. If you want to do raises, you can raise up to your void, get more information.
I've got all 3 of my luck points left. Fuck it. I'll do at least one raise. So that's 35, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I need to use 1 luck point. All right, that's 37.
Okay, so you got your one raise, yeah?
Yes.
So same dream happens for the two of you. You guys are walking in the darkness until you see that light. You feel as if you're walking on something. Like think of organs, body parts, stomachs, hearts, and different things. And it's moving, like a heart would pump, a lung would breathe, and you're making your way to this fire. It's dark. It's can't tell if it's red, black, brown. But as you go, the woman is there. She stands up, turns, and faces you. Atomo, you see the shark-like mouth opening wider. But also, just like in the image of this, you see a woman, this woman's head kind of detached from itself as if it's been severed by a katana and slowly start to rise. You see the esophagus and other body parts, tendons clinging to this as the head kind of rises above you, 6 feet, 7 feet, looks down upon you. Her tongue reaches out. It's this long serpent-like tongue, and it looks like it's being cut upon the teeth. And the head kind of curls around you, around your head, around your neck, and then until it's facing you, the hot breath of bile and blood and the smell of blossoms and lilac come upon you. And as it's about to kiss you and lick your neck, you pass out. And you wake up with a scream upon your lips and a cold sweat. Onto you, Hida, same thing happens. But instead of the head separating, the head does not separate, but the kimono opens up. And inside you see that her chest, which were instead of where her breasts would be, they have come off. The skin is detached from them, and you see the muscle and tendon and everything else, and it goes down to her stomach. And inside you see a porcelain mask where her chest is.
Does this woman, Clay, Does this look similar to the Oni that switched the body of my Yojimbo and Yoko?
No, she looks like the Oni Fulin's concubine.
Oh, she looks like she's like okay. She looks exactly like her.
The face.
Oh
But
boy.
instead of normally you've seen her naked and whatnot, and she's perfect. Her body's perfect. But as her kimono falls open, you see that her breasts are there, but the flesh, the nipples, and everything have been ripped from it. And you see the body parts and the exposed tendon and flesh and muscle and fat. But where her stomach and her center of her chest is, you see that porcelain mask kind of wrap around like body armor around her, and you notice that you're being looked at from the eyes of the mask, and it's as if the same visage. You know, half the mask is smiling, the other half is frowning, but it's one face.
What does she smell like in the dream?
Blossoms. You have a
The
pure
same.
smell of blossoms, the same smell, but it is really strong. And instead of her head twirling around yours where she's giving you a kiss, she steps into you and you're face to face. You feel movement coming from your left, and Void Dragon, you know, is there. And he's about to spring out of his. He'll look like the demon dragon that, you know, full armored, and his katana and wakizashi come to strike you. This time it doesn't happen.
Can
This time, go ahead.
with my raise succeeding on that raise, can I try to force myself to do something in the dream?
Go ahead. What do you want to do?
As I feel a void dragon nearby and with Fuling's concubine in front of me, I wanna give in to the temptation a little bit and like force myself forward out of her control and try to like deeply kiss her.
Ooh, I'll allow it. She takes it in just like a harlot that's doing her job right. And you guys are lip locking, and you feel this serpent like tongue enter you. And for a moment, you feel it feels really good. It's intense. You feel the code of Bushido is slipping from your mind. The wanting of doing anything is there. You feel movement, whatnot, and you peek your eye open, and out of the darkness, instead of Void Dragon, you see faces. But instead of actual human faces, you see that porcelain mask. You've seen it before. It was in Ryoku Rory when people were putting on the masks, and it was bringing back the dead. You see bodies and those faces in the darkness, and then popping out. The firelight is against the masks, and you probably think you see hundreds around you. You're surrounded by these faces, and then she'll stop. She's got her hands on your face as she pulls you from the kiss. Unless you fight it, I'll allow you.
Yeah, I'll fight it for sure.
She's strong enough. She pulls you away, but she fights you. And you're controlling your dream somewhat, but you've done your action and your will is there, and she pulls it away. And the last thing you see and hear is this: I've come for you, my husband. And then that's when you see Void Dragon kind of walk out of the shadows, out of those people. They kind of open the way and let him out. Kind of like in Game of Thrones when the White Walker King walks out and his minions walk away to give him room. You see Void Dragon. And instead of him in his armor, he's in a fine kimono of green. You think it's green because it's got the pictures of the dragons in battle and different things. This is a fine kimono. It's a wedding kimono, and your best man is here to give me away. And that's when the dream stops. You can still feel the kiss upon your lips. Your tongue that was bit is right there. And you notice right over there is breathing heavily is the Otomo, and his eyes are awake, and he's waked up at the same time you have. Yoko, on the other hand, has not awakened. Neither has the Akoto. And Sepun-san starts to snarl. Yes, yes, Kampachi-san. I will follow you into battle on the wall. Otomo will come with us. He's a good man. He will follow us. Yes, yes. Shh! Don't tell my father. Don't tell my
His
father.
homoerotic dreams feature.
And he rolls over and goes back to sleep.
I want to if I'm gonna like sit up slightly on like roll onto my side, and I will look at Atomo and see if his eyes catch my eyes while his Yojimbo is doing this.
As long as he's not slowly stroking himself while watching you, I think you're okay.
No, he's like a puppy having a chasing dream. You know, his hands are kind of moving, his feet are kind of moving.
I'll say, Atomo, you awake?
I guess I'm up at this point, Clay, because I failed pretty spectacularly, so it scared the living shit out of me.
Yep. And for the rest of the day, Atomo and Yoko, you will suffer. Here we go. If you failed, you will suffer a penalty to all dice rolls equal to 3K0. Yeah, so you're suffering 3K0 to all dice rolls. And it will last until the next day.
So this game just went from weird to awkward. I'm not sure where to go from there. The Atomo is going to have to look at the Emerald Magistrate with a look that says, "We never talk about this again." Ever.
I'm going to smile, and I'm going to say, whispering to you again, I'm going to say, "Hey, Atomo, I think he really, really likes you."
And with that, we'll take a bathroom break, bio break. So I will be back in a few moments, guys.
Damn it, Andrew. Who, I mean, he's not dreaming about me, dude. He's looking at you.
I know I've buttered him up. I've intentionally buttered him up.
You've done a little more than butter him up. You've lubed him up, dude. So,
Yeah.
just remember, when he gets all retard strong and tries to rape you.
Well, according to the school ranks that Clay gave, I don't know if I can stop him. So
Oh, that's awful.
that might just be the way. That might be the way Rokugan go.
Why does this sound feel like the part out of Clerks 2 where Randall's like, what if somebody comes in, sees me jerking off, gets real retard strong?
Yeah. I'm gonna love to see the foot race to see whose courier reaches their target first.
Me too, because God help us if he gets there first. Oh.
He's like, oh, I just so happened to see a centipede walking through town.
My letter's more like, God help us, please, please, whatever I've done, stop it.
Yeah, this is the beginning of some kind of karmic punishment for your character.
I do have a dark fate, and I'm beginning to wonder if that dark fate involves that son of a bitch.
Yeah, your dark fate is that you're gonna die by Sepun's hand.
Well, I mean, it's not like it'd be the second most embarrassing way to die, next to being sat on by a fat guy in a rice paddy. Which was somebody else's hero's fault, if I remember straight.
Oh, dude. So Jeff has been running this game, this Judges Guild game, Scrap Faggot Green.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, I'm playing a evil cleric, and I have hold person. And Ian's character owned a slave, and Clay's playing this like huge, fat, obese magic user. And Clay decided to kill my slave, so I was like, "All right, we're playing old school D&D. We're chuckle fucking it. Let's have some fun." So I like cast hold person on Ian's slave and took control of him and made him come on to Clay's character, like make a pass at him. And Ian's slave's a man, is like a big old burly Mr. Clean man, and I had him make a pass at Clay's character, and Clay got upset and like body slammed him and sat on, or no, he put him to sleep and then sat on him.
Why does every game Jeff runs turn into a chuckle fuck?
I don't know. He had like a midget fire brigade, like 14 midgets with like pails and water trying to put out a fire. and we convinced them to tie a rope to themselves to try to excavate water from a well in like the most inefficient way possible. And then when we got them all in the well, we cut the rope and had Clay's mage cast fireball in it. And then
Okay, guys, I'm back.
Jeff was kind enough to give us XP for 14 midgets, 14 midget firemen.
That's awful.
Scrape faggot.
Yeah, I was
Scrap
telling him about your obese magic user.
I've had fun playing him.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, I want to get us to a point. I know we are ending early, but I just got snagged by one of my residents. So I want to play if you're cool playing again next Monday.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm down.
Okay. We'll get you to another point, and then I got to go meet with them. I said I need about half hour, 20 minutes. So I figure we could play for a little bit longer. I'll get you to a good point, and then bullshit for a little bit, and then I've got to go.
Huh.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you guys are traveling. This is the third day of travel. And let me go down here. Okay. And instead of resting, Yoko is asking if we can just push on. We can make it to the monastery before it gets too dark, but she does not want to remain out in the open. She looks around. She looks at your possession, or at you, Hida, as if she knows where it's at, because she's seen you place it there before. But she's being really troubled. And again, she looks haggard as all hell, as if she hasn't slept in days.
Can I try?
And you know that she hasn't.
Can I use my medicine real quick to see if I think she can make another march to get there?
Go ahead and give me awareness medicine or perception medicine.
Okay.
And I'll let you do it the night before, if you'd like. Or you can do it now as you're walking. Or riding, excuse me.
It's not the best. I got a 24.
You're just barely under it. You think she can manage. And you notice that she strapped herself onto her horse. Because the two of you she has an Otaku battle maid. You probably have a lesser breed of unicorn horse. You're not a Taki, so you wouldn't have gotten one, but you've got a unicorn horse.
Yeah, I've got a Gaijin horse.
And then I probably just got a
everyone else has all. Yeah, you guys all have the Rukugani ponies. Yours is a little better than the Akoto's.
What's fucking?
Sepin's got one that looks just as barrel-chested as he is. He's got probably a donkey of a horse.
That's what I was thinking.
Because he probably needs one as large as he is.
It is. It's a big barreled horse or his pony, and
it's like a
wide.
super Arabian.
It should literally.
Wide.
It should be a fucking straight up donkey.
It kind of looks like that. You think they didn't give him the best quality horse?
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. If I bought his horse for him, I would have bought him a donkey.
But his horse is high-bred. You know that, Gita, because you were used to be a unicorn. It's probably got a bloodline of a unicorn steed, but a very distant gift.
Right. It's like it's like there was an actual lineage horse bred with a normal Rokugani horse.
And if you were still in speaking times to your original family, you could probably trace its lineage, because again, your family or your clan have got, they're all about, the Arabs, when they used to do that for their horses, they could track it down in their scrolls on what they gave, what has what. Especially if the bloodline has been sent out or it was a gift to the Sepin in the past. So, but being as you're not really talking to your actual father or your old clansman, it's all good.
Yeah, I just.
You guys press on. No, go ahead.
Nope, that was it. I just know there's some Gaijin in it, some Gaijin blood in it.
So as you guys press on, you find the monastery. It is dark, and it is overcast. It is heavily gray clouds rolling across the sky as you approach. It's casting a gloomy pall over the landscape. The fog banks kind of cover the grounds and the hillside that this monastery is in, this small valley in between the two hillocks. And the monastery itself is kind of like a port in a storm. The fog that's rolling in. You see a massive bell outside of its battlements. You see probably a building, a 2-story building in the center, and it's probably got the different outcropping buildings from the main compound and the gardens and different things inside. You just can't see it. You see a bell over the front gate, and you guys approach. It's a 2-door gate that is that is there. You see a bell connected to the outside and a lantern that has been lit that casts light amongst the fog.
I'm going to ride up to the rope for the bell, and I'm going to
Okay.
give it probably as hard of a tug as I can while I'm still maintaining my balance.
And it goes ping pong.
Moments later, it goes ding, ding. And then you hear scuffling and noises coming from the outside. And it's probably an outhouse or a gatehouse that possibly one of the brothers is there to monitor the gate at night. And you hear shuffling and whatnot coming from the outside. And you hear the fumbling of latches and possibly the wooden barricade. And the door cracks open and a craggly, bald-headed pops out. This old man, undetermined age. And it looks like he's staring face to face with you even though you're still on your pony. Yes? What can I do for you? What are you doing here? What brings samurai in the dead of night to disturb our humble order? Is there a war on? And he looks excited, and he points his head like a turtle coming out of his shell, and he's looking around.
No, I can't help but see Dana Carvey. Thank you. I'm actually going to move out of the way. I'm going to let the Emerald Magistrate talk because he understands exactly what's been going on better than I do. So I'm going to move
Again,
aside.
he's looking at around and stuff, and you notice his eyes are full of cataracts, are clouded and gray.
And I'm going to say, we have an object that needs cleansing.
Ah, you do. And who might you be to request such a to make such a request of our order? And he's kind of looking at where whoever talks, his head swivels to that person. That's when you realize you probably got to get nose to nose with him for him to actually see you.
You cut out there on me, Clay. What was that last part?
You notice his head swivels to whoever's talking, and you now realize that you probably have to get nose to nose with him to actually have him see you.
Yeah, I will. I'll get really close to him and say, I have the object. Can we use the temple to cleanse it?
True, we do have ways of curing the black sickness and objects that contain the darkness within, and we have given sanctuary for those afflicted with it. And his head will swivel towards Yoko.
I'll say this object is really, really, really dark.
You notice that he nods.
And I ain't joking.
He nods. I must confer with members of my order. Excuse me. And his head pops in like a turtle going back into his shell, and the door closes. And then you hear the latch, 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 latch. And then about 15 minutes later, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to, I guess I'll just wait.
What about you, Otomo?
Make sure Yoko's not dying.
Yep. I'm at this point I'm exhausted. First off, second off, I'm kind of filing all of this away as we're talking. I don't have any. I'm not really friends with anyone in this group.
Okay. 15 minutes pass later, and the door creaks open again, and that head again. It reminds you of that turtle. His neck is so skinny. You've got the legions on his bald head and everything else, and his eyes filled with cataracts. Says, I have conferred with the head of my order and those of counsel to him. You may enter, but you must leave behind the object that we are sensing. And he is staring at your stomach.
You want
It must be left behind. That object is too tainted, and its taint cannot breach the sanctity of our walls. But at this, the Akodo says, it must be guarded. If you will not allow it to enter, I humbly ask. And he turns to you, and then he turns to Yoko, seeing the haggard looks on your faces. And then he turns to the Seppin and says, I humbly ask for the honorable Seppin Sama to guard with me if you need to gain the rest. Yoko then falls off her horse.
Does she actually hit the ground, or are we able to catch her? Do we have enough ability to catch her?
She actually, that's when you notice she's locked herself into her saddle. She's strapped herself down, but she falls, but she doesn't hit the ground.
Okay.
But she's just hanging there. She's unconscious.
Okay. Does Andrew notice that at all?
Everybody does.
Okay.
Except the priest. The priest's head swivels because of the noise, but it swivels back to the emerald.
I'm gonna ride over to her, and I'm gonna set her back right in her saddle and lean her forward against the neck of the horse.
What is your strength score?
3, I believe. Hang on, double check. Strength. I gotta find it real quick. Yeah, 3.
And what is your horsemanship?
I do not have horsemanship.
Okay, with doing this, and you have the strength to do it, but in order to do it and maintain your posture on your horse, go ahead and give me a reflex horsemanship, or strength horsemanship, excuse me.
I was going to say, I'll spend a void to do it.
Okay, you get a 1K1, and you are trained in it.
Yeah, so it gives me, so that is, you said strength plus horsemanship?
Yep, and its target number is 25.
It's 4K4. Car's not a bike, goddamn. Son of a bitch. I'm not gonna quite hold my place on my horse. I got a 19.
A 19. Okay, I need to ask you. Are you going to try to, because you're picking up, she's fully armored in her heavy armor, and you're reaching down, you're grabbing her, and you're pulling her up. But you know at the last moment you have an option. You can cushion her fall on your own. No, actually, she's not going to fall because she's strapped. But you are going to put her in a position where she's going to be injured. You can either retain it and fall and not put her in that position, or put her in that position and fail and maintain your mount on your horse.
The moment I realize I'm going to hurt her, I'm going to let her go, even if it hurts me.
Okay, so what it does is you let her go and not adjust her, and her weight kind of pushes you down, and how you're doing it, you're not on your horse enough, and you actually pull yourself off your horse and fall. You're going to lose 1 point of honor and 1 point of glory, 1 click of glory as you embarrass yourself in the dirt. And it is kind of muddy.
I will, when he falls into the mud, I'll turn and look at the Seppin with a shocked look on my face. Like, your master needs you.
Then he goes, Atomo, no! And he leaps from his horse. And you know it's not really a leap. It's his belly riding the horn of the saddle out. He kind of does a worm, the breakdance maneuver, the worm, but instead of the ground, he does it on his horse. And he just rolls and rolls. He is like an athlete. He is like a water polo master. And he's down there and he hauls you up out of the dirt. Starts to dust you off as if you're a young child. Doesn't realize that that is inappropriate. Are you okay? Have you injured yourself?
I'm going to look up at him, kind of coated in mud and everything else, and I'm going to sarcastically tell him I'm fine, other than my bruised ego. Which he's
dusting you off, and he's getting it on him. He's like put you on almost like a hug to pick you up out of the dirt and mud. Oh, that is nothing to fear. I do this all the time. You'll get used to it if it continues to happen. I'm so sorry this happened. I'm sorry I was not there to cushion your fall. Again, you notice that he's probably taking honor hits and stuff, but it goes right over his head.
While that shit show's going on, I'm actually going to help my Yojimbo back on her horse.
Your strength is big enough. What is your strength, 5?
Yeah, it's 5.
You just reach down and pull her up. Plus, you have horsemanship.
I just want to point out, for 3 of the 3 days, my action was literally to ride by her to stop her from falling. And the last thing I announced was that I was standing by her, making sure she wasn't going to die. So,
but remember, you did approach the old man.
No, that was before he left.
Oh.
You asked us in the 15 minutes what we were doing, and I said checking on Yoko to make sure she doesn't die. But
not bad.
No, it's not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is that for Tomo to like come and push by me and try to save my Yojimbo while I'm watching her fall off was asinine. So he deserves his place.
No, I actually didn't hear you say you went back to her, but I figured I was on the other side of her, but whatever.
Yeah, you were on the side that she's leaning on, and you were trying to put it up. He has to just reach over and grab her.
Yeah, I thought I was.
But hey, you were doing well. It was you did an honorable action, so you didn't lose more honor than the one you lost. So the old man says he doesn't seem to realize what it had. He turns back to staring at you. He then says, so are you coming in? Seppin will turn to the Yokota and says, I will help you watch this item. And then he stops. What item are you referring to?
Ain't talking
And the
to me.
Yokota gets mad and says, the mask, the mask, Seppin-sama. The mask. The monks will not allow its corrupted nature to enter. One of us needs to remain guard here, and I recommend myself. And I ask that you, the Honorable Seppin, Hida trained Seppin, the student of Hida Kuon, the brother of the Emerald Magistrate, assist me in guarding it. And he says, of course, if Otomo is okay with it, Otomo, you should go in and get checked out by the monks. And Yoko, too.
I'm gonna pull myself out of his grasp. He's trying to dust me off and start leading my horse inside.
They let you in, but you notice that there are about 6 monks on the other side, and they looks like they've got staffs and they were prepared for hostilities. But when they notice you coming in your dirty imperial robes, they bow to you. Please, Otomo-san, Sama, please enter the monastery of the Quiet Earth. You are welcome here, says one of them. And they bow. You don't see their faces. They're all bowing very low. And one small boy kind of takes your horse from you and says, I will lead you to where you may rest your horse and the others where they may gather themselves and rest. And he leads you away. What are you doing, Hida, as this is happening?
Are they taking the horse and Yoko with them?
They haven't done that. If you allow them, the monks will come out and get her.
Yeah,
but the old man has stopped. The old man has stopped. Kind of you. As she leaves, you do get a sinking suspicion that that she's being hurt. And out of the 4 of you, you're probably the only one. Maybe the monks can help, but could supervise her care. Your medicine's high enough, you can help her. You don't know if these monks are able to assist her. Plus, she possibly needs possible jade or whatnot if she's suffering these dreams.
Yeah, this is that right there. That's bait.
The other bait I'm gonna throw at you is that you will embarrass yourself, dishonor yourself if you kind of oversee Decepin, because he's thrown out your family and everything else. I won't even let you roll the courtesan check of sincerity. You're kind of put in a position that he's using. That if you say he can't guard the item, you're saying that he's not honorable enough for samurai enough to do so. So you're kind of in a catch-22. What will you do? Because the monks will not allow that item in.
Here's what I'll do. I'll send Yoko in, and I will reach under my armor and pull out the mask.
Okay.
And I'll say, so I originally didn't tell you this, but there are actually 2 masks here. One of the masks came from what's the name of it? It's Yokusan Rory.
Ryoko Rory, yeah.
Ryoko Rory. I'll say there was a mask that I brought with me from Ryoko Rory that I was going to turn over to Ekuni that was supposed to meet me, but he didn't. The second mask that we found was of the same make and the same shape, and they merged together. Now, because you did not know this, and you requested the Seppin here to guard one of the masks, I would suggest I stay at well to guard the second mask, since the peril is obviously double.
Of course. Of course, he says to you. And as you guys are making, where will you camp out?
Probably in the courtyard. I don't like getting hurt or injured anymore. And hopefully after this mask is away from us, we will stop having nightmares.
Okay. This is what I will end the session with, is you do your nightly rituals, you set up camp outside. I will turn to the Otomo. Otomo, what I need from you as you are going to sleep, where is my stuff? I need a roll from you as we end this. I bullshit for a little bit. What would that be? It would be investigation, so perception investigation. Unknown TN, I'll allow you to use it before or after, but I won't tell you the target number. You can use void before or after.
What's the roll?
It's perception investigation.
I'm gonna use it to add 1K1.
Okay.
Just to be safe. Okay, there's at least 110 in there also. 12. 18. Jesus Christ. Still rolled like shit. Oh no, I keep 4 off of this. So let's see. 20, 26. I got a 33, Clay.
That's enough. Back outside. What are the watches?
I'll take the first watch. No, wait. You know what? I'm gonna take the first watch.
Okay. Who's going to take second? Who's going to take third?
I'm gonna volunteer the Sepun in a second.
Okay, he'll take second. Who takes the third? Are you going to take a double watch, or are you going to allow Kodo to watch? What are you going to do?
Since neither one of us trained in combat, it's probably best for us to do a double watch.
No, Kodo is Sepin is outside. You're by yourself with Yoko inside. This is the watch outside. Remember, Hida wanted Sepin couldn't refuse, so Sepin, Hida, and Akodo are outside.
Okay, that's fine.
I would say put the Sepun second, and I will try to sleep during the Sepun, but lightly sleep, so that I can be awake and have one eye open, ironically, as the Akodo watches.
Okay. As you guys go to sleep and you drift off. Your first watch, not a problem. Your second watch, I need you to make a roll. Target number, and I say this to both of you, is 40.
What's the
It's a raw willpower.
Target number of 40. I can willingly fail this, correct?
Yes, you can.
That's what I'm gonna do. I have 3 dice, dude. Chances of no, I should go ahead and roll.
You can roll. If you get explosions, you could possibly make it.
Weird shit happens. No, no. I still only rolled a 20. I rolled half of it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna use my second luck point. And can I use a void on this roll?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay. $53.
Okay, you make it. Very good. This is what happens. I'm going to backtrack it a little bit. Go back to the Atomo. As you enter the monastery, you're greeted by a trio of elderly monks who show you to your quarters and where you can rest for the night. They lead you through a series of corridors and courtyards, passing Sikenja and other monks engaged in various activities of praying and doing their thing. And the temple is old. It is very old. It is well defended. It's possibly seen some war and battles. You see tiny rock bottoms, bowls of incense, and smoke in all different corners of the area, sending out the smell of incense. You hear the chanting, the low chanting of the monks further inside the area, and the lantern glow merrily lighting up the area. It is very peaceful. of where you're at. They lead you to your room. They notice they also put Yoko in the room with you. We will bring those to a tenter shortly. It has been a trying time. You guys had pushed your ride. And as you kind of lay down and you've done your rituals and you're waiting to be seen, you kind of drift off to sleep. The last thing that you do before the nightmare returns, you don't have Jade on, do you?
Which one of us?
Atomo.
Yeah, I actually still have a third of a finger of jade, I believe, from.
Very good. So that will help.
Wait, hang on. That third of a finger of jade was with the lion. I don't know if the Atomo has any.
And I don't believe you have any. So even that is still very good. So same dream happens, but this time it's different. Instead of an area which you can't see around you, you're sensing the monastery. You're walking these halls, but instead of the cheery light of the area and the incense, you see dead bodies walking by you instead of the monks. You're led into your room. Yoko is being put down there, but instead of her resting or monks coming to heal her, you see Bakemono coming. You can't tell what type, and they're feasting upon her. And as you turn to the door, you hear a click. And as you wake up and you suffer 3 dice to everything, minus 3K0 for this upcoming scene, you reach out and that you realize, what was that? And it comes into your mind that you are locked into this room as you overheard the slamming of the barrier or the bar. On the outside, and the fear is just radiating into you. And that's when you kind of notice the incense that you smelled earlier has got a rotten smell to it. The smell of iron fills your nostrils. And you kind of look around, and you got a sense, think of being in the sweat box back in basic, and the CS gas is kind of touching your skin and stuff. It is bad here. And Yoko starts to whimper. Cut that scene and go outside. The storm is starting to happen. You guys have put your stuff up. Seppin has put up a lean-to, so you guys are out of the rain, those that are sleeping. The other has to face the water. You all have your mounts except for the Atomo's mount and Yoko's mount that has been let inside. First watch, nothing happens. You see the lights are dimming because the rains are starting to happen. The grounds are getting wet, but you're on a higher part of the area where you're not sleeping in the water, but everything outside your little lean-to is getting wet. Your shift ends. Seppin takes over as you wake him and you're falling asleep. You find yourself drifting off, though, as things are about to happen. The dream happens, the same thing. This time, instead of you coming upon the concubine, you hear in your head, you hear, it is coming true, Hida Kampachi. Yoko's soul is going to the pit. And that's when you kind of see yourself walking. Think of yourself an out-of-body experience, and you're traveling through the corridors of this monastery. And instead of monks bowing and praying, you see the dead, zombies bowing and praying. Corpses that have been eaten and rotting for years are there. You also see that you're coming upon a room that you think that you know that your companions were led to, and you see a bar across the door. Your vision takes you inside. You see Yoko laying there. Instead of being examined by someone, priest, you see 3 priests or priest-like individuals, you can't tell, look like they're gnawing on her. And you see the Tomo just there in fright, just stopped. And his hands clenching his wakizashi, but he can't draw it. And when you wake up, you're in a cold sweat, but the rain is trickling on you. You've fallen asleep. And you felt this thing before. Something has been used to force you to sleep, but you're waking up as this item has been carried away. And you look over, and the Seppin, his guts, his chest, and his stomach have been opened, but he's alive. You notice that as you feel around, that you've been violated as well, and the mask is missing.
So, I'm not hallucinating. The Seppin is partly
Hey.
disavowed?
Basically, he's been disavowed, but he's up and moving. But he doesn't look undead or what you were dreaming about, but it looks like someone had gutted him. It looks like his body, his legs have been broken, but it looks like someone had stabbed him in the dark. You notice that the jade that you had around you is sludge. I think you had a finger and a quarter. They're gone, as if it was battling with whatever was here. And as you sit up and whatnot, you notice, you hear the storm is happening, but you hear the cluck, 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 cluck of your horse going off a ways. It looks like it's going towards the monastery. You notice that the Sepin's horse is dead. You notice that the Akota's horse is missing. And that's when you hear a scream, a woman's scream coming from the monastery side that you guys have. You've gone a couple yards away. That way you're out of the rain and kind of using the hill to block some of the weather. But you hear Yoko scream, just like you did in your vision as she was being eaten. And I'll cut there as you decide what you're going to do. You don't have a choice. You know that you can either travel after the Akoto that you think may be missing, or you can travel to the screen. But things you know, one, the mask is missing. Two, your armor is considered damaged. So if I target your chest piece, it's missing. So if I target that, it'll take me raises to call shot your chest. But if I hit it, you will not be protected by your armor. And that is where we'll end. Hope you guys had fun. I'll let you plug whatever you want before we end the broadcast. Kyle, go ahead with whatever you want to plug.
Yay. I run Legacy Game Mastering, so check us out on YouTube. My videos have kind of slowed down, but whatever. Other than that, I don't really have anything else really going on, so yay. Nothing else to really plug.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you playing. And you, most evil one.
My call sign is L5R Joker. And I got a YouTube channel called Houses of Healing. The hands of a king are the hands of a healer. Enjoyed the game.
I will end that.